time for Blumpkin and Friends, starring your host, the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
Hey kids, I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin, and with me here today is my friend,
Spacey.
You can talk a little bit louder, it's okay.
Okay.
The joke there being that my daughters are upstairs sleeping, and I don't want to wake them up, but I'm not going to go a week without recording an episode. So, Miss Spacey has come in today for an extended session of story time. And, currently between jobs, so why talk about her expertise in her former employment? Because no. And she doesn't have a new one coming up yet, so here we go. Once upon a time ago, we were standing in my kitchen, and she told me a story about the time she broke her pelvis.
More like broke my vagina.
What?
Go on.
Well, I was a skateboarder. I was a tomboy. And I was trying to teach myself how to do a 360 kickflip. And this was like my life goal. And I was very dedicated to it. So I decided to just go for it. Because isn't that what teenagers do or young people do, right?
Well, if you look at statistics, yeah, pretty much.
With fucking reckless abandon. So I was just skateboarding down the street, and I decided I understood how it worked and that I would give it a try. Now, I'm 13 or so, right? 13. So the skateboard is probably bigger than my inseam or longer than my inseam, just to prep the story, right? So I went off a curb, a taller curb, and I just gave it my all. And just try to picture this. The skateboard and me in the air, and then the skateboard. I mean, how does one? This is painful to even talk about. Really, this is horrible. The skateboard and me went down and hit the pavement at the same time.
Which sounds totally fun, obviously.
Super fun. It wouldn't be so bad if the skateboard hadn't been right between my legs, with the sharp end of it going directly into my pelvic bone, right where my happy stuff is.
Yeah, you can say pussy. It's okay. We're adults.
So, anyways,
she caught a skateboard right in the schlitz.
I mean, like right in the middle.
Ow. Ow.
I believe the technical term is the pubic symphysis, just to make it sound more painful for you.
And I recall asking last time if that's when you lost your hymen.
No, because the skateboard did not enter my vagina. However...
What? I don't know. That's debatable.
If it did, I'm not sure I would be alive. So, anyways, the noise. I mean, how can we recreate the noise? It sounded like a wooden... yes, but much louder. So right and just perfectly right between my legs, and the other side of the board hit the concrete, and the same time that it hit my pelvic bone, and it made that noise, and I simply fell to the ground in shock, and it's like I felt it, but I didn't feel it. That's how bad it was. So, do you know anything about the vagina? You know how, or the pussy, whatever you would like me to call it?
I've seen a few.
A few. You know, that whole area, the skin around it, the labia, it's kind of meant to expand and fill with blood, right?
I guess, if you're thinking about it like it's a fucking water balloon.
But it does. So...
Because that's what guys look for. Women with really expandable vaginas.
You wanted me to tell this story.
I want a girl with a cunt that's like Stretch Armstrong.
Well, anyways, it is meant to do that. So with such a acute impact, I was in shock, and I managed to walk home. It was about a block and a half away from the house. And I didn't really understand what was going on. I just knew that it hurt a little bit.
A little bit?
A little bit. I was in shock. And that I should probably look at it when I got home.
I bet that block and a half felt like the Bataan Death March.
Kind of. It didn't feel like it physically, but mentally, yes, it felt like it. So I got, now just keep in mind I'm 13 here, okay? So I went to the bathroom, and I believe only my stepmom was home, and I took a look down there, and I mean, you know how big a softball is, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that was how big my vagina was. And it was literally that big of a ball, of essentially a hematoma.
It's a blood bulge.
I was fucking petrified. And then I started to feel it, and it really hurt.
Go on.
So anyways...
So she's touching herself.
No, I think I was just staring at it.
Peekaboo!
I don't know, for maybe 10 minutes.
Because of the sheer size?
Yeah, it was... I didn't know that was possible.
If that happened to a guy and his dick got all gigantic like that, he'd be like, oh my God, this is fucking awesome. I'm going to take some ibuprofen. I'm going to go lay down. And when I wake up, I'm going to go through every name in my phone. And I'm going to fucking plow pussy from one end of town to the next. I am going to destroy vaginas.
I definitely no thoughts of sex at this moment.
And then he would say, and then he would come blood, which I think is like a, I think that's a Napalm Death song, I Come Blood.
Sounds so
Or it might
unpleasant.
be Anal Nakrath. I don't know. It's a death metal song, and it's called I Come Blood.
Why would that ever be a good thing?
I didn't say it was. I'm just saying. Most likely the guy would lose his injury boner buzz the second he went to blow his wad, and half the skin on the tip of his dick fell off while he just burst blood everywhere out of his pee hole. I'm trying to paint a very vivid picture with my words right now.
Well, that will flow nicely into my next story. But anyways, I had to show an adult my injury, as I felt it might be severe. So I went to my stepmother, and I said, I hit myself skateboarding. And she said, what do you mean? I said, I landed on my skateboard. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, can I show you? And she said, okay. So I pulled my pants down.
Surprise!
And within a second of her looking at this huge Jupiter-sized fucking hematoma softball, she immediately turned around and went, and then I started crying finally. So I started crying, and she took me to the hospital. And I didn't want anybody to touch me. No. When the doctor saw it, he kept trying to just touch it, and I just kept backing away and screaming and saying no. Oh, no. Because it was so fucking painful.
That sounds like a genre of porn that really fucked up people would be into. Just pain porn.
It was unimaginable. The best part was, to comfort me, they first gave me some Demerol, which is a fantastic drug. And then they gave me that giant, it was like a giant maxi pad full of ice. It was literally like a maxi pad with ice in it. And I had to put that on there.
Did it have strings for tying it to you?
It fucking did.
Yeah, they gave me one of those when I had my hernia surgery.
Oh, nice. Yes. These are attractive moments in one's life, you know. So finally the Demerol kicked in, and I loosened up and allowed for an exam. And I had actually cracked, on the right side, cracked the bone of the pubic symphysis. Sorry to be technical. And that was so much of an impact that it caused a giant hematoma. It was literally the size of a softball. So there really wasn't much they could do other than, you know, give me some pain meds and have me go home. However, as a 13-year-old girl, the thing I was the most sad about in this incident, of course, was that I had just figured out how to masturbate. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can imagine. And there's probably a couple of socks in the back of my old closet at my parents' house still that could explain that wonder. Share in the memory when I'm strolling down the lane.
Well, there's nothing worse than having your stuff out of commission during that time in your life. So I did explicate this to my father out loud because of the Demerol, that this was upsetting to me.
Wait.
Yes.
You said, Daddy, I can't masturbate now.
Yes, well, I was all drugged up, and I said to the doctor that I had just figured out how to do that. Yeah. So,
Was your dad a drinker?
once upon a time, yes.
Okay, you think that maybe might have thrown him off the wagon a little bit? Having a, gee, she figured out how to flick her own bean.
God, he did disclose to me the other day on the boat that he did start drinking again after so many years of sobriety. So I bet yes.
It's about the time you hit puberty. He's like, all right, I'm back in the sauce.
Oh, I think he just got sober to get some custody. So yeah, you're probably right. Oh. So anyways, yeah, I wasn't able to do that for a long time. And I had to walk real funny and I got made fun of. But it was actually a really cool injury to me because, I mean, what could be cooler than, being injured in such a fashion on a skateboard to a 13-year-old?
Did you show it off?
I definitely showed my girlfriends, but no, I did not show any of the boys. I had
God,
some
too
respect.
Bad, because I sure would love to know what kind of nickname they would come up with for something like that.
I just wish they would have taken. I just wish I would have taken a picture to have on file.
Yeah, because that's what one wants is child pornography. Which even if it's yourself, it's still illegal. I think.
For my own self.
These are for medical records, Your Honor. This is not a different little girl's vagina. This is my vagina. You see the birthmark? See the birthmark? See the birthmark.
Well, anyways, it took about 2-3 months for this hematoma to process itself out. And I remember looking at it in the mirror, being absolutely mortified that my vagina would never be normal again, and that it always have this thing there. And it would take 2 months for it to sort of go away, and it literally took about a year for it to completely deflate. So, I mean, that's my story. So when guys tell me that, they hit their nuts on something, and yeah, I've been there.
Kind of. Kind of.
There's a lot of nerve endings right there, and it's right on the bone. I think it's worse.
So is that the end of dealing? It just went away on its own forever?
No. So I had, a stretched out tissue right there. And I also hated that because once I was older and started, having sex, it would get pulled inside of me and then it would swell up and it was like this little balloon.
Was it only on one side, so it looked like you had a lopsided vagina?
Oh, God, this is mortifying to talk about.
No, it's not. It's hilarious.
I know. Was it what?
Was it lopsided?
It was okay, those balloon animals? If you were to, just put just a little bit of air in a balloon animal, and, that is what it was like. It was like a miniature penis. And it was just on the right side, right near the opening.
See, that's what I wanted to know. What side was it on?
On the right side.
Okay, I'm visualizing.
Oh, wonderful. Delicious.
I guess I visualized it on the left. I don't know why.
Oh, no, it is on the right. So, anyways, it became a problem, and it annoyed me, and I hated it, and I hated having to explain it all the time. So I went to a physician, and it's called dyspareunia. So it's covered by insurance. So you can say you have pain during sex and basically get cosmetic surgery. But I did have pain, and it wasn't comfortable.
Can I do that? Can I go and be like, I have pain during sex. Let's see how big we can make this thing. Can we inflate? Can we? You want to add an inch and a half or something?
Yeah, maybe I could get free vaginal tightening surgery too. I could see a whole host of insurance fraud going on here, but technically it was legitimate because it really did.
I'm just thinking of the awkwardness of the pillow talk after the sex when you have to explain to the guy that just got done pooning you what's going on with your vajayjay.
And why do you suddenly have a small penis? Well, that's what it looks like.
It sounds like what it must be like for dudes that still have intact foreskin.
Yeah, that is a weird experience. I have had experience that's just not, I just am not into that. No. But anyways, they cut it off, and it's fine now.
It's kind of an abrupt ending to the story. They cut it off, and my vagina's fine.
Yes, yeah.
You're listening to Blumpkin&Friends.
So back to this uncircumcised penis thing you just mentioned.
Yes. What?
Expound upon.
Okay, so this whole experience was just awkward. Yeah, I'm sure I'm not the only person who's ever slept with someone and went, why did I sleep with that person? Why did I do that? But anyways.
Well, there's a number of us that do it, and we do it for various reasons, but you did it because the guy had extra skin in his dick that made it look like it was like a wiener roll-up from elementary school cafeteria food.
I didn't know that when I made the decision to sleep with him. I'm saying even pre-knowing that. I don't know why I did this. But anyways, guys who are not circumcised, they're way more sensitive, like way more sensitive. And if you grab it and pull that skin down in any abrupt sense, they will immediately be like, ow, 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 like you don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, well, maybe I don't.
Nobody likes complaining in the bedroom. That's why I don't care for going backdoor, because then you slow down. Just take it easy. Just slow down. You know what? I did this for you because you were curious, and now I'm not enjoying myself. And all you do is fucking whine. So you know what? I'm gonna go wash my dick, and then I'm gonna take a nap.
Oh God, gross. The weird thing about that is so anything that's around the uncircumcised penis, once you do, get into it, if you go down there, any hairs or anything can get stuck in it. And then you
stick a couple of M&Ms in there for later, just so that your dick tastes like chocolate when it's finally go time. That's actually a good idea. If you're uncut out there, stick some candies in your foreskin.
Surprise!
So that when it's time to be filleted, she pulls it down. She's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm kind of mortified at the chocolate mess, but I can work with this, because if anything, if women won't suck a dick that tastes like chocolate, then that is not a girl you need to waste your time on."
And it melts in your mouth, not in your dick.
It
right?
does.
Yeah.
No, it should have partially melted in your dick. This is more of like a summer months activity because of the natural moisture that builds up from the humidity. When it's bad enough that your sack is stuck to your legs, why not stick a couple of M&Ms, or hey, how about some Reese's Pieces? Because fucking who doesn't like Reese's Pieces? Maybe get some Raisinets.
Oh, I fucking love Raisinets.
Okay, well,
I would
see,
choose
there you go.
Raisinets. Well, so the most uncomfortable moment, after I had already been reprimanded for mishandling the equipment, Jesus, I went down there and there was a hair in it, and I was like, oh, I gotta get rid of this. So I had to make a quick decision here. Do I pull it out suddenly, or do I inch it out? I didn't know what to do.
I have that same problem every time I'm in a movie theater and I want to surprise the people I'm with.
Explain.
Do I pull it out suddenly, or do I just inch it out and hey, pass the popcorn? Ah, peekaboo.
Peekaboo! So yes, this is a difficult decision I had to make, and I decided to just go for it. Well, I was reprimanded again after that, because apparently that was very, very, very uncomfortable.
How old were you when this happened?
Oh God, was this 2009?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you, 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, your voice went up. There was an upward inflection, like you were questioning me. Like
well,
maybe I know.
Okay, and I'm not one of those people. I had to think. I had to think about it. I had many years in skydiving. And anyways, I've been reprimanded twice now in this sexual interaction, so it's obviously not very fun, and I just really wanted it to be over. So because that all this is going on, and then I didn't even know what to do with it. I'm just really glad I've never encountered one since then, because what the fuck do you do with that? I can't touch it.
I have no advice for you on this one. It's an arena of expertise that I have no dog in the fight.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that, but I just hope, yeah. So, well, there's your third story there.
I think that's only number 2.
Yes, but that was something I thought of all of a sudden.
Oh.
Due to our content, yes.
Okay, so about this discovering masturbating,
mm-hmm.
For me, it was kind of an accident. I knew what I was doing. I was on the phone, and I was talking to a girl, and I was talking about sexy stuff,
mm-hmm.
and then, I started getting a boner.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I started rubbing it, and then I'm like, oh, what just happened? I didn't, just magically come on myself, is what I'm insinuating here. I just felt kind of an extra tickle that was like, whoa, hey. I think I just figured out how to make myself come. And I immediately stood up, and I went to the sock drawer, and then I sat back down in my Ninja Turtle beanbag, because I had been playing NBA Live 96, and then I attempted to finish while keeping the conversation going without her figuring out. And I got to say that using the sock as like a condom for myself when I'm jacking it, yeah, that's not a good sensation. I don't know what I was thinking. I was inexperienced, so I didn't know that like just putting a sock on your cock and then jerking it was gonna not feel as good.
Yeah.
So I guess I disappointed myself in my first sexual experience with masturbation.
Oh, that's terrible.
Disappointment, that's what I do.
Yeah, I disappointed my father when he walked in on me mounting a vibrating duck that was meant to be a back massager. Maybe that's when he started drinking. True story.
That's horrible.
I know. It was a duck. It was like this big. That's about 2 feet, and it had these things, and it vibrated, so you could lay on it.
Were you at least like dressed, or were you? Like,
I was dressed.
Buck
I was
naked, rubbing your cooch on this thing.
No, I was dressed, and as we were talking, I had just discovered this a couple days prior. I must have gotten myself off about 20 times in a row after I figured it out. And I'm pretty sure I was in the front room on the love seat when I figured this out. I believe I was actually watching Beavis and Butthead. But anyways,
it's a weird thing to flick your bean to.
Well, these things aren't calculated. They're just biological.
What did you accidentally graze your vagina?
Yeah,
oh
maybe.
Shit. Okay, well, and then in your mind there's the montage of like a flower blooms open and a rocket launches. And then like a parachute opens. Somebody pops the cork on a bottle of champagne while confetti's coming down.
That is what it feels like.
That one Ukrainian diplomat guy that fucking blew his own brains out, pulls the gun out of the envelope, and I ended that one on kind of a sad note, but all these very intense images.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just the moment I discovered I could do it over and over and over again was the problem, But
good for you.
Not a problem, but my wrist hurt. That's for sure.
Oh,
but
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, no, it was horrible. I have this duck, and I realized that it vibrated, and that there was a connection between what I had been doing with my hands and what this duck could do for me. So I had the duck on the bed.
That just makes me think of JFK. Ask not what the duck can do for you. Ask what you can do for the duck.
Oh, I could keep the duck warm, and that was about it, and feed it batteries. But anyways, I got on this thing.
Jeeves creamed.
I mean, I seriously, I didn't know, I wasn't planning on doing this. It was just kind of an instant discovery, and I thought, gee, I should get on top of it. I should try this. I should do this. So I got on top of it, and it was literally right before I got off that my dad just walked in the door and was like, instantly he saw what was happening. He said, "Oh!" and he just shut the fucking door. And we never spoke of that moment.
I bet you that stopped your ascent to the top of the mountain.
It sure did. It sure did. That was a really horrible moment. Probably, God, that was. I don't know which is worse, when that happened, or when I found the strap-on in him in my stepmom's room.
What would that be for?
I don't know, and I never want to.
That's worse than the time Easter Sunday years ago. I was looking for a tie for church. She's like, "Well, it's with my socks," and I opened the sock drawer, and I found the oldest box of Trojan condoms known to man. This thing looked like it was from the 80s. I had never seen a condom box with labeling that looked like this, so it clearly predated the 90s. I don't know if he was keeping it as a memento of when his dick was still in use.
Oh, wow. Oh,
because I imagine that it's been retired with the rest of the fleet, because, oh, God. Oh, I don't want to think about them doing that, because, well, all she does is complain and nag all the time, so...
God, I'm so fucking tired of your shit!
That would be a terrible experience.
It was, but, I found it coupled with San Francisco lesbians, too. So I don't know what was going on there, but
maybe your stepmom had like some side squish.
I don't know. I mean, they're fairly open people, but it's
yeah. Call your friends, invite them over. We'll make some hors d'oeuvres. And we'll watch a movie. You guys can take turns fucking each other with that belt dick.
Okay. It was like a like a plaid. I'll never forget.
There's a pair of underwear with a penis on it.
No, like a strap on is it's like. Strap on, and like the pattern of the strap on fabric was plaid,
like argyle,
and the dildo was, it was just kind of a nice regular white guy penis.
I'm glad you described a regular white guy penis as nice and like, it was just your average white dick. It wasn't like the black models, which are much more comfortable. Everyone enjoys them so much more. But now that you mentioned that it's plaid and I brought up Argyle, now I just think of like some fucking bagpipe player, at a funeral.
It was a Scottish dildo.
Well, that just makes me think of Scrooge McDuck now, and I don't want to think of Scrooge McDuck strapping on a fucking dildo and then taking it out on Mrs. Beakley.
These are horrible images. I'm going to have to stop this conversation now. My parents are still alive.
Well, you should be focusing on the Scrooge McDuck hilarity, not still the image of your parents using a sex toy.
Well, scarring happens.
Well, I don't know what it's going to take for you to re-repress that, but I'm glad I could help you open Pandora's box.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
Goodness.
You're listening to Blumpkin&Friends.
You know what I need from you right now?
What's that?
A story involving poop.
Oh. Well, have you ever had diarrhea sprayed all over your face? Because I have.
Hang on a second.
True story. True story.
God, if I was a smoker, I'd light one up right now just from you saying that, knowing what's coming. It's like the cigarette they give to a man who's about to be executed via firing squad.
Oh.
Knowing that you're going to tell me about a time you had poop all over your face. Wow.
Well, I'm getting a little hot. I'm gonna have to remove my jacket.
Because you're remembering how sexy it is to be sprayed with feces in the face, or
that
because
is fucking disgusting. No,
the nerve sweats of the strap on.
No, it's the recalling of this horrific situation. It is not sexy. I'm sorry to report.
The Dutch would argue otherwise. Are
you ready?
Well, yeah. Don't fucking keep me in suspense. You can't dangle the carrot and not let me get a bite.
Okay. Well, it's just. I don't know if it's a typical nursing home story, but I was managing a nursing home, and I fucking hate nurses in Illinois, because in Illinois, nurses, they don't have to do direct CNA care before they become nurses like they do here. So they're fucking cunts, okay? They don't help you. Mm-hmm. So I was already slave laboring with another resident when one of the nurses let me know that resident Jack had a mess, particularly a kind of a messy diarrhea mess.
That's awesome.
And just so that you understand that this was the beginning of a CDC recorded epidemic of a stomach flu that I dealt with.
Norovirus?
No, it was worse than that. It was something kind of isolated, and about 53 out of 60 of our residents got this thing, and I was one of the only people who didn't use it as something to call in for. So I worked through Christmas taking care of these people, short-staffed, while every single one of them was shitting their brains out.
I just want you to know that I'm immediately texting Nurse Ashley, friend of the show, to see if she's ever been sprayed with diarrhea at work. I hope she's still awake.
Well, so anyways, this cunt nurse let me know that there was a large pile of diarrhea or something with resident Jack. And the thing about poor old Jack, man, he's the nicest guy ever. He was about 7 feet tall, and to further the circumcision thing here, he also had a catheter full time. And some people, this is why euthanasia should be legal. Anybody with a catheter in their dick for so fucking long that it starts to split the side of their dick open really should have the right to die. Don't you agree?
That sounds terrible. But then again, you know what I had tonight when I was on the couch? I had a dream that like some friends showed up or having a camp out party in my driveway.
Okay.
And they dug a hole in my yard for a fire pit, which I was pissed about. And then for some reason I felt the need to cut off my dick in the dream.
Jesus Christ.
But then when I cut it off, it was like severing off like Play-Doh. There was no guts. It was just like flat, fleshy material. And then I took it, and I had also severed part of the head, so I took the two pieces into the bathroom. Well, I got in the bathroom and I accidentally dropped it into a little like sink full of toys with some water, and I could only find the little bit of the tip, and I couldn't find the main bulk of the penis that had been cut off. So then I'm just like, you know what? Wake up. This is another one of those cut off your dick dreams, and I don't know what they fucking mean. So just, I'm sure one of the kids is on the toilet right now and needs their ass wipes. Just wake up. Like I'm talking to myself while I'm lucid dreaming about severing my own penis. It's the second dream like this I've had in the last year. I don't fucking know.
Well, I have to say that's about the saddest dream I've ever heard. But anyways.
No, the saddest dream I ever had involved being in a chapel. There were candles. It was dimly lit. And it had like gymnasium-style bleacher seating. And I was caught up in the top row, but I couldn't walk down them because they weren't extended. They were pushed up, so it's like I had been, when they put them away to open the gym. And then my dead grandpa had walked by, and I tried to call out to him, but I couldn't talk. And then he walked out of view before I could get to him. That was the saddest dream.
Oh, that was too deep, man.
And then I woke up and I cried a little.
Can we talk about diarrhea again?
We can talk about diarrhea again. Sorry. I'm sorry to bring the mood down with stories of my deceased grandfather. Can we get back to talking about the time that George Mirasan of the Washington Bullets shat on your face? As you don't know, George Mirasan is famous for being one of the tallest players in NBA history at 7'6".
Oh, okay.
He also had a face like a fucking ghoul. He was ugly as sin. I think he was Romanian.
Oh, I wouldn't call this man ugly. He just was very old, and I just felt like he should have died much sooner than he did. Did she have diarrhea on her face?
She hasn't answered me yet.
Oh, damn it.
I'm just going to set that
I wanted to sympathize, and so this fucking cunt nurse lets me know there's a pile of diarrhea for me to work with. And, well, thanks, Nancy. Okay. So anyways, I go into the room, and Resident Jack was kind of nonverbal, too. He couldn't really talk at this point.
Well, this guy got the shit into the stick on every front.
This poor guy. He was such a nice guy, but he could stand, so you could, but he couldn't really walk at this point. So, he mostly laid down in a wheelchair, but he could transfer. So I go in there. And, because, like, once again, he should be dead, the bed he has and everything about this shit-tastic assisted living facility is, like, his whole body, like, in the bed, like, his bottom, he's so big, creates, like, like a pool around him, okay? Like, he sinks into the bed, okay? When I took the sheet off, I was like, oh, my God. I mean, he was literally, like, his pelvis, like, it was liquid diarrhea all the way around him.
Well, diarrhea is kind of always liquid.
Yeah, but this was so much of it. I was blown away. I mean, I had seen a lot of shit in my time doing personal care.
No
work.
pun intended.
On all fronts.
He was wearing a pair of underwear that looked like it was made out of a snack pack.
Oh, God, dude, this is so sick. Okay.
I may have just ruined pudding for some people.
Yeah, pudding has been ruined for many years for me. But anyways, this poor guy. So I was like, well, I need help with this. This is not a one-man job. So I called, I don't know, we'll call him Caleb or something. And I called him, and he was a young man in nursing school, and I thought he would be good to help. And I called him up, and I was like, we got a situation here. So we stand Resident Jack up, and the entire mattress, although it was covered in plastic, it had soaked through. It was completely ruined. Like, this was, it was unreal. So I'm like, all right, well, we're gonna get this situation under control. So we stand him up. We get him in the chair, and we bring him into the shower. And Caleb, he folds up the mattress, and we put it in a bag, and
immediately lit it on fire.
Yeah, and just to so anyways, we get him in the shower. You would think that after 20 gallons of diarrhea comes out of a person that there wouldn't be anything left in there, but by God, there was diarrhea left in this man. And
I like where this is going. I know what the end result is. It's like somebody's already spoiled the end of the movie for me. Yeah. I just need to find out now at what point in the film Darth Vader admits that he's Luke Skywalker's father. That's where we're at.
Probably gonna punch you in the face after this too. But anyways, I got him in the shower, and I was cleaning him, and I had him stand up. And I'm a hard worker. All right, I'm a hard worker. I want my residents to be comfortable. So I'm gonna get this man clean
by putting your face too close to the danger zone.
Oh, Jesus Christ! So I was back there, and Caleb was making sure he was standing and secure, because even as a manager, I'm the one doing the work, because that's the kind of person I am. And I was back there, and I was really up in it, because I just felt like I couldn't get a clean wipe, and I was back there, and I was fully under there, and it came out like
whoa, fully under there.
So he's standing up, and I'm I'm back there, like
Yeah.
like looking at it and making sure that it's all gone.
Oh, yeah.
When all of a sudden,
Scrub that poop, you dirty girl.
it just came out. I mean, remember, you know that video I showed you today of how the waterfall was just really, really, really coming down. Minnehaha Falls was just really pouring, and that is exactly what this looked like. And it just...
Oh, God. You know the chocolate river that they had in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory?
Yes.
I'm
This was
thinking
worse
about
because there
that.
was chunks.
I'm
There was
thinking
chunks,
about the girl
man.
going up the tube with the chocolate Yoo-hoo River. And are you going to vomit?
Oh my God.
I'm not trying to make you suffer, but the fact that you're making a face like you're in pain while you're telling me this, and I'm trying to descriptively relate it to anything else, it's kind of getting me off a little.
That's
a
terrifying.
river of shit across your face.
Yeah. So, anyways, I stopped and I was mortified, and Caleb was sort of like,
Oh my God!
so I stepped away from the situation, and I was already stressed out that day, and there's a little kitchenette right in the room there, and I went in and I started crying. I mean, it was just instant. I was bawling my
suffering.
I was fucking bawling. I didn't know how to feel about this, and it's like I could tell that some like got into my mouth because, oh God, this is horrible. And it's not like I was mad at Jack, because it really wasn't his fault.
How does the CDC tie into this now?
Because this was the first person to get it.
Other people had diarrhea
Oh,
so bad
I
you
have
had to
plenty
throw
of
away
stories
beds?
for you from this 2-week adventure. Oh my God. Never again will I do this kind of work unless I am overseeing it, I'm telling you. So anyways, the soap, he had some Dawn soap, and I just drizzled it. I just drizzled it across my face and over my head, and I just stuck my head
semi-sexual.
I
Yeah. It was like a fucking messed up herbal essence commercial.
An
All
herbal
you needed
essence
was,
commercial
like-
in an assisted living facility.
All you needed was some Orbit's gum because gets dirty mouths clean.
Oh yeah,
With the British bitch. Is
it
that
was
Orbit's gum? That's Orbit's
it was
gum.
like it was just something stupid. It was like makes a dirty mouth clean. It wasn't even that creative. I don't know.
It
was
doesn't
just-
need to be. I'm relating it to you having poop in your mouth.
Well, that's great. But anyways, my favorite part of the story isn't even that though. So I grabbed the phone and I had finished my cry, and I had eaten soap, and I had
Eaten soap.
I literally ate soap. I was
Yeah.
and it was all over my clothes. Okay, all over my clothes. So I thought I called down to the executive, and I was like, we need help. I said, we need help. I was like, I need to step away from this situation. I need help. She came upstairs. I couldn't even explicate myself. She came and saw, and she was like, oh, and I was like, yeah.
That's a reaction. Oh,
Yeah.
You're covered in shit.
Oh, I'm glad you're sitting down there in your comfy fucking leather chair.
God damn.
And yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm paid like $11.50 an hour. So, anyways, I needed a change of clothes, and she was like, "Well, I'll call your emergency contact," and I assumed it was my husband who lived close by this place. Well, it wasn't. I actually used my dad as my emergency contact, who is, how many 6 hours away in Minnesota. So she calls my dad, and she's like, "Hi, Mr. So-and-so. Had an incident here. She needs a change of clothes." And my dad was like, "Well, what happened?" And she was like, "Well, she has fecal matter all over." And my dad was like, "Well, I'm sorry, but I'm in Minneapolis." Anyways, so he was like, I think you mean to call someone else, but he had a good laugh on that note. And finally, we reached the appropriate party, and I received a change of clothes so that I could continue working in this place for the rest of the day.
Okay, I just want to interject with a hypothetical that would make this story so much better.
Yes.
The second your dad got off the phone, was the second he was able to stop drinking, thinking about you grinding on a vibrating cock. He's like, you know what? I'm good. And he sets the beer back on the table, and then he picks up the mirror, and then he picks up the straw. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Oh, he prefers downers. Cocaine. He prefers downers. He would never do that. Cocaine is for fucking losers. I don't know anybody cool that does that stuff.
Well, then clearly you don't remember Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll clown.
Oh, well, okay, that's an exception.
Cocaine. Yeah, get in my nose.
I know some really hot chicks that do it, but that's about it. And they are all sluts. They are all sluts. Well,
you don't develop a coke habit without learning what a black D feels like.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I have a whole nother story
I'm
for
complimenting black guys for having a never-ending supply of cocaine in that joke. So I'm not saying like, oh, black guys are drug dealers.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, I feel like I know an equal number of white and black coke dealers, so maybe you're right.
Well,
anyways, that's the story, and but then it turned into a nightmare, because yes, it was this virus, and it was really severe, and actually we had 3 residents die from the virus because they were already weak,
That sounds like a way better version of the movie Outbreak than that version that they had with the monkey and then Morgan Freeman and Donald Sutherland, who at one point uttered a line so stupid it blew my mind. We were sitting in class in like 10th grade watching it in health class, and he goes, I need you to blow that plane the Christ out of the sky. And I'm like, the Christ out of the... What the fuck? Did you just learn English a week ago? What does Jesus have to do with this plane coming down? He's not going to swoop out of the heavens and, make the rotor stop.
But he could.
He could. Why don't you stick with your role in Animal House? Because I don't like you in this one, you penis.
Well, I honestly, the worst part was, most people were bedridden and would stay in their beds with this, and so it was, they would shit and you would clean it up, and you'd shit and you clean it up, and it was just kind of continuous. The worst part was the residents who were mobile and not right in the head, or the angry type of residents.
Yes, go on. I like where this is going.
Resident Lois, bug-eyed, maybe about
Lois.
4 foot. Yeah, Lois. Yeah, she was about maybe 4'2", and she was a little portly and a little fat. And
hey, Chris, come here, check it out. Your mom shot it on the carpet.
She was one of those residents where like her family would come like once a year and like dreaded it. I don't know what she did to them or what happened, but they just paid the bill and just kind of kept her in there. For the most part, Lois was fairly pleasant, despite the fact that she would always eat all of the cookies we would make at noon.
Bitch.
In the fresh oven, which really those are really for the caretakers, in our opinion. But
so you could eat your feelings after a long day of wiping butts and cathing stinky vaginas?
Oh, God. Once she would touch the cookies, though, that we wouldn't touch them anymore. And this just further drove that point home. So she got the sickness. But because she was so mentally perturbed, she didn't like feel sick, or like she didn't like let it register. So I went in there to check on her to remind her that it was lunchtime. Mm-hmm. And her whole fucking room was covered in shit. I mean, the whole fucking room, the curtains, the bed, the mattress, everything. And once again,
this is a movie I would watch.
This is
a movie I would watch and eat a fucking steak dinner to, because I would enjoy it so much that there's shit everywhere. And I'm laughing so hard that I almost aspirate on beef.
I hope someone shits on your head someday.
I don't feel like that's going to be anything I'm ever going to request. Unless I'm like right about to kill myself, and I'm going to go, all right, well, I got to add something. There's something lacking from my suicide note. And right now I'm feeling like it's a tub girl like fecal shower is what I need.
Oh, Jesus.
I want somebody to make me look like Mr. Molasses from the Candyland game board with their turds.
Well, anyways, there was shit everywhere. Just to continue on your dream sequence here. And I'm just like, what the fuck do I do with this woman? What the fuck do I do? Because she was combative. So here she comes. Her hands are covered in shit. Everything's covered. She's coming at me because she would kiss you on the cheek. She would grab your face. And here she's coming at you. Hello. And I'm like, oh my God, shit. So,
Yay.
so you would do you would grab, I grabbed her wrists and was like, oh, hi, Lois. Oh, Lois, looks like we have, some stuff to clean up here. Why don't we stay in your room for lunch? I'll bring your room service. No big deal. She was like, She's like, I'm going downstairs. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, when this fucking lady is mean, she's fucking mean. And I'm like, oh, she's covered in shit and she's a fucking bitch today.
That's like a Scooby-Doo villain that they never had that I wish that they would now.
Seriously, it was mortifying. So I don't know. I mean, she escaped. You couldn't use force with these people, right? You had to use all logic and trickery. So I really didn't have my wits about me after cleaning, up 50 piles of shit at the end of the day. And she got away from me and she started going downstairs. And I just followed her and realizing that I would have to go back and clean her room and the mattress was ruined and just responsible for all kinds of shit no one should be responsible for. And she goes down to the dining room and she wants to go and get a cookie. With her fucking shit-covered hands and her shit in her hair. And she tries to enter the dining room and, she gets mad and she oh God, this reminds me of another story.
You don't have time for another story.
Ah, damn it. I have so many.
You're already at the 49-minute
I have a shit and period blood story too, but anyways.
Okay, I may be willing to go into extra innings for a story that involves both feces and menses.
Well, either way, it was a fight to keep her out of the dining room, and she touched a bunch of tables and tried to sit down and eat, and who knows what the rest of it was. I have PTSD'd this out of my mind, so. Okay, so just super quick to end this.
Period. Go. Okay, make it happen.
All right, resident with epilepsy, nonverbal. Serial masturbator. That's all she did.
Oh,
you could hear her in the back room.
That's like the trifecta.
You could hear in the background, and she would go. When she got off, she would go, just
Sounds like
that.
Somebody's raping a mouse.
Nope. This is a happy
Sounds like
sound.
Somebody's raping Minnie Mouse.
Honestly, for someone who's nonverbal and doesn't enjoy life at all, I would say, "You go, girl. You go."
You know what would be funnier about that is after she got done making that sound, you just heard "Look."
She could
and then
make
it sounds like
that.
Goofy's raping Minnie, because I want to turn this into a Disney porn.
Yes.
Like a Disney rape porn now. But go on.
Well, she had epilepsy, and the funny thing was she would get herself off, and she had the worst epilepsy you could have. She had a vagus nerve stimulator and everything. Well, she would get herself off, and that would stimulate her nervous system, and she would have a fucking seizure. Anyways, this is a tough job here. So anyways,
imagine everybody out there that after you got done rubbing one out, you immediately started to convulse uncontrollably and then shat yourself.
Well, okay, so it's really simple. I went in there, and she was a normal woman at the same time. She would get her period, and then she would shit herself because she was like a 6-month-old. So she had a whole, you would want to catch if she shat right away, because she would masturbate through the shit, and she would stick her hands and she would just pull it all up and all this.
This is like the Gordie Howe Hat Trick of filth.
It is really disgusting.
Holy Christ.
Anyway, she was on her period, and this happened. I didn't catch it in time. Well, she had really abrupt movements, too. So I went in there, to clean up, and I'm like, oh, great, I didn't catch it in time. Here we go. And she pulls her hand out just really abruptly, and she would just, and I'm right here, and her hand just grazes my cheek, goes, and it's just poop and blood on my cheek.
Did you ever see the movie Apocalypse?
No.
Oh God! It involves the Incas and sacrifice. And anyway, so jungle people with war paint on. It
was slow motion too. It was slow motion. It was. Let me just graze the most disgusting thing on the planet on your cheek.
You know what that reminds me of? Sigourney Weaver and the Queen Alien Xenomorph from Aliens, when it gets right up in her face.
Yes.
And the little mouth comes out.
Oh.
It's like, and there's acid drool coming down. I didn't get on Sigourney Weaver's face. Ripley didn't have her cheek melt off. But
well, this was early in my career, so I didn't cry, but I wanted to. Yeah, pretty much. No, I just stepped away and I did. The Peter Griffin, just for an hour or something. Yes, Yeah, it's amazing how long shock will keep something like that on your face. But anyways,
doo-doo brown.
Yeah, that happened. So that's all I got for you. I mean, I have many, many more, but
not
that'll
today,
do it for today.
Interact with the show on Twitter at Blumpkin Show. That is at Blumpkin Show. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/Blumpkin&Friends. I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
Spacey.
Good night.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party and you invited everyone you knew, you would see the greatest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you from Blumpkin and Friends.